Good morning and happy Monday. Um, Today we are going to look at the reading passage that for you to be reading today and the questions numbers 1 through 4. So I'm going to share that with you on my screen while you grab yours and we will look at this together. Okay, so the title of our article is Driving in the Future Will Look Very Different. And this is an article that appeared in the Los Angeles Times and it was adapted by the News ELA staff for the purpose of this article. I noticed this great photograph here, and the caption underneath the photograph reads, "A row of Google self-driving cars are shown outside the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California. For the first time, California's Department of Motor Vehicles knows how many self-driving cars are traveling on the state's public roads. The agency issued permits in September that let 3 companies test 29 vehicles on highways and in neighborhoods." Hmm, self-driving cars. Interesting. All right, so driving in the future will look very different. Someday we might not own cars. We may not even drive them. In the future, cars will drive themselves. It could cause a revolution in how we get around. Traffic jams are increasing. Self-driving cars could lead to less traffic. And if you are stuck in traffic, you can do something while your car drives you. Ride sharing is becoming popular in cities. Using a phone, a person can ask for a car to pick them up. A driver knows where the person is through GPS. It uses satellites to pinpoint where someone is. Nearly every cell phone has GPS now. If a driver is close by, they can pick up a passenger. They just pay for the ride, like a taxi. In the future, ride sharing could be different. Instead of a human driver, a robot might make the pickup, or people might rent a self-driving car from a large fleet of them. Cars may be left in the parking lots. People can take a car when it is needed. Garages would no longer be necessary. Buying cars could even become a thing of the past. The Los Angeles Auto Show this week offered a look into the future. Driverless cars were there to be seen. Already, the cars can park themselves. They can slam on the brakes to avoid crashes, and they can adjust steering to stay in the center of the lane. For a century, cars have meant freedom. They were a sign of wealth. In the future, cars may become just another type of public transportation, like a bus or a train. Google is already Google is already building experimental self-driving cars. They are not for sale. Cars might look very different in the future, said Harold Belker. He used to work at Mercedes-Benz. Now he creates cars for movie sets in the future, including Iron Man 2 and Total Recall. You can have a two-seater where the passengers face each other, Belker said. Warming up to coming changes. Not everyone believes self-driving cars will take over the roads. Bo Bokerman runs a car dealership. He thinks there will always be people who want to own a car and drive it. The car is something people fall in love with. He thinks people will let the car drive itself in traffic. Then they can drive it when it is fun to drive. James Lentz works for Toyota. He believes people will still want to own cars. Some might travel long distances each day. Others might have a big family to haul around and things to move. Peter Schwartz writes about how businesses will look in the future. He says cars will slowly take over more of the driving. Over time, the feelings people have for their cars will fade away. It will happen in stages, he said. You don't have to make one big leap. Hmm, I don't know. Self-driving cars. Interesting. All right, so let's look at some of our questions. I'm going to read through them, and you go ahead and mark the answer you think is best. So, number one, what is the main idea of the article? Remember, main idea is the big thought or idea that the author wants us to understand. So, is the big main idea A, in the future, not everyone will opt for driverless cars? B, the shift towards driverless cars will happen in stages? C, ride sharing and self-driving cars will be common in the future? Or D, car manufacturers are building experimental safe self-driving cars? Which one of those is the big idea of this article? Number two, read the selection, warming up to coming changes. Based on the information in the section, what could the following section be retitled to? A major leap towards the future. B, people will still own cars. C, changing car business. D, feelings fading away. Question 3. What best describes the overall structure of the text? What that means is how the author is telling us the information, how the author organized their writing. Is this writing organized in a chronological order? B, giving us a cause and effect situation? C, presenting a problem and then the solution? Or D, is it written to compare and contrast things? And question number 4. Read the following 2 sentences from the article. Cars might look very different in the future, said Harold Belker. Already, the cars can park themselves. Which sentence best describes the relationship between these 2 sentences? A, the first sentence provides a detail, and the second one includes its importance. B, the first sentence makes a point, and the second one gives a reason for the same point. C, the first sentence makes a supposition, and the second one provides additional information. Or D, the first sentence describes a problem, while the second sentence provides a reason. Okay, do your best to answer those questions. Refer back to the passage as you need to answer them. And we will go over this when we meet for our Zoom meeting. So bring your questions with you. All right, guys, see you later.